that's the threat that the company sometimes puts out there, right? If you're not going to learn this, if you don't have those skills, you're going to lose your job. We're going to replace you with AI. On the other hand, I think the more kind of humane and more sustainable way of creating that continuity, organizational, memory and all of that kind of stuff is if companies have incentives, rewards, point their people in the right direction, and create opportunities for people to grow professionally from within.
I love that. I think that's a great way of kind of figuring out that solution as well. And we're talking about how the HR industry is changing, but now let's flip it to talk about how just the workplace is changing. A lot of people are working for themselves, gig workers, the rise of remote work. How has that been changing either how you're teaching your classes or just how the HR industry is viewing things now?
Yeah, excellent. I think we're still kind of in between about continuing to diversify the ways in which people work and engage, et cetera. In the office, back in the office, hybrid, et cetera. Every company, what I'm saying always around this remote work concept is every company needs to decide what's fitting their own business model. And it could be even differentiation between the kinds of employees. There are certain categories of employees that have to be in the office a lot. Like, for example, I think a lot of HR professionals working with either in the coaching field or talent management, employee experience, they should be in the office meeting with people. However, there will be certain categories of people who may be very comfortable and much more productive working from home, remotely. So I think that every company, unlike what we had before, one model, everyone 9 to 5, everyone in the office 5 days a week, I think that is being diversified and there are multiple options. And again, that's where HR professionals should be sitting at the table with the industry leaders or their organizational leaders and advising on what makes most sense. Because at the end of the day, the companies need to be looking at what outcomes they're looking for, what outcomes both from the business, from the organizational purpose perspective, as well as what kind of culture they want to have. So all of this is extremely, right now, at least compared to where we were before, extremely personalized to individual organizations, even individual leaders, what their preferences are. So we'll see all of the above. And what we need to train HR professionals on is to be able, to help organizations make those decisions, advise them on what will work best. And then secondly, be kind of fluent in what it takes, for example, to be an effective remote worker. For example, I am working right now with Tulsa Remote. I don't know if your listeners are familiar with this model where certain locations in the United States and even globally set up an incentive system to bring in remote workers who are working for different companies to kind of all congregate in one place, and where they provide them with support at the same time, create economic incentives for them to be relocating to certain geographies that before might not have been very attractive to professionals with skills and demand. So I'm working with Tulsa Remote by Kaiser Family Foundation to create a training course for an effective remote worker. And what